Verse number 9. Und Gott sprach, die Wasser unter dem Himmel sollen sich an einem Ort sammeln, damit trockener Boden zum Vorschein kommt. Und so geschah es. Okay, here we have two sentences and a quote. So, sentence 1, und Gott sprach, a quote, which is split in a Hauptsatz, main sentence, and a Nebensatz. And then there is the last sentence. And we have a ton of new vocabulary to go through. Okay, so unter means under, among, below. So in this case, unter dem Himmel, under the heaven. Sollen means must, ought, or should. And this is a Hilfsverb or a help verb because it is not the only verb in this sentence. It is a verb together with sammeln. So sammeln is the main verb and sollen or should is the help verb. Or in English you would call this an auxiliary verb. So then we have the word sich, which can mean anything that refers to itself. So either self, itself, themselves, and so on. And let me show you a little table which goes like this. So we have the 6 persons, I, you, he, she, it, and then we, you, and they. Ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie. And as you can see, sich is in the he, she, it, or er, sie, es part, and it can be both an accusative and a dative case, which is the same for the last 4 persons. So in this case, this is an accusative, but it doesn't matter because sich and sich is the same in dative and accusative. And in this case, themselves obviously refers to die Wasser, so the waters, because it is the subject of this sentence. Then we have an, which is to, at, on, or by, which is simply a preposition, and then it's followed by the location itself, an einem Ort. Einem is the indefinite article, and let me tell you why you need einem and not ein, eine, einen, eines, or einer. There is another table which looks like this. So Ort is masculine, so we are here and we are in dative. So in this case we need the dative because we have a indirect object. So the sich is the main object and therefore Ort would be the indirect object. And hence the indefinite article is einem according to this list. Okay, Ort just means place, position, or maybe location. It could also refer to a town or a city, but that's just as a little side note. Then the word sammeln, which means gather, collect, assemble, or rally. And in this case, I would probably go with the first one, gather. Then damit is a conjunction, can mean so or so that. It could also mean thereby, therewith, with that as an adverb. But here we would use it as an conjunction in this case. And the word damit is usually followed by a reason, and in this case it is followed by the reason why the water should gather in that one place. And usually when you use the word damit, you would put a comma before that. So as a conjunction it indicates that the new sentence or the new Hilfssatz starts. We have the word trockener, which should not be capitalized, which comes from trocken and it means dry, red, barren, or dusty. And trocken probably means dry, and in this case it is referring to the absence of water. However, like in English, you can use the word trocken to describe a specific type of wine. Like you would say, dry wine would be trockener Wein, which is wine that is less sweet than regular wine. And you could also have like dry humor, which would be trockener Humor, and that is deadpan humor, like when someone is being funny but does not show any emotions or is not laughing. Boden means ground, floor. Bottom, it can mean soil or land. So that is just like the English, you would say you would put seeds into the ground. You actually mean you put seeds into the soil. Then we have another preposition. Zum basically is a mix of the words zu and dem. So zu means towards, and dem is the dative article before a male noun. And there is also the word zur, which would mean zu der. Oh, and this word is not capitalized actually. So you would use zum if the following noun is masculine. So in this case, der Boden, masculine. And you would use zur if it was feminine. And if the following noun would be neutral, then you would also use zum. For instance, ich gehe zum Haus, which would be I go to the house. And to be fair, this isn't 100% true because there are some particularities where zudem and zum are not the same, but let's leave it for now with this. But maybe we can go through that later again. Then we have another noun, Vorschein, which means appearance. And it means appearance in the sense of being visible. Like you could have the sentence, es kommt zum Vorschein, which means it appears. Or a more literal translation would be, it comes into appearance. All right, I think that settles it. Then the final sentence, und so geschah es. We had that before in verse number 7, und so geschah es. And so it happened. And maybe I can put the whole translation here. And God said, the waters under heaven shall gather in one place, so that dry ground may appear. And so it happened. We have a substantive. God, he is the one doing something. Sprach, the verb. And then the new sentence, which is a quote. Die Wasser unter dem Himmel is the substantive. Oh, sorry, it's the subject. And then we have two verbs in the sentence. The first one is sollen. And the second one, sammeln. Sich is in this case the object, and an einem Ort is the adverbial. Then damit is just the conjunction. Trockener Boden is the object. Zum Vorschein, I would say this is an adverbial. And kommt is the verb, of course. And I think I made a mistake. Trockener Boden should be an subject. Und so geschah es. So would be an adverbial because it explains how. Geschah is the verb. And es is the subject. Und Gott sprach, die Wasser unter dem Himmel sollen sich an einem Ort sammeln, damit trockener Boden zum Vorschein kommt. Und so geschah es.